big wholesale distributor, have a mixed workforce. So a large portion is office staff and salespeople, and then they have a huge warehouse population as well. So one of the challenges they'd run into is over the years, they had very limited options from a healthcare perspective because they had a low participation on the healthcare. So there are some PEOs out there that have kind of different structures, and they look at healthcare differently from a participation and contribution standpoint. So what I was able to do is find a PEO that was really, really well positioned for this group. They focus on gray collar mixed workforces. It's really their warehouse. They had looked at other PEOs in the past, but the PEOs they looked at were primarily focused on white collar. So they assumed that the PEO wasn't a good fit when it really was that those PEOs weren't a good fit. So by taking them to this group, they were going down a path with their current healthcare that led them to a 50+% increase. So what I was able to do was find them an alternative solution with a PEO. Obviously, they're getting all the HR, they're getting all the HR tech. Um, this group had a bad experience on workers' comp. So, but they were happy with their comp carrier. They were happy with their comp premium. So I was able to carve out the workers' comp. So that became a non-issue. They were also able to keep their workers' comp PNC broker in place who had been with the business and the family for 35 years. So it's a relationship they didn't want to lose. So we were able to maintain that. And what I was able to do was develop a pretty custom personalized healthcare solution that made a lot of sense for them. And ultimately, what that was going to do was actually save them about $300,000 just in healthcare insurance alone, over what they were previously paying for their 2025 policy. That's before they got their 50% increase for 2026. So their net savings is just dramatic. It's probably close to five or $600,000 all said and done. So this is a huge opportunity for them to go out, get better benefits, lower the cost for the company, lower the cost for the employees because the costs have become exorbitant. And then in addition, for their mixed workforce, where they have warehouse workers with a lower wage who weren't enrolling, which was creating participation issues, we're able to offer them MEC, which is a minimum essential coverage plans, as well as MVP, which is minimum value plans, to be able to provide those people that couldn't afford or wouldn't pay for a fully insured solution, with a reasonable benefit solution that is better than going uninsured and bare. So it's saving about $300,000 net currently before you factor in the renewal, and then it's another several $100,000 in additional savings going forward. Um, and I think while this company is looking for a long-term solution, we're in a situation now where we have a really good year. We're saving a lot of money. They're getting a lot of help and resources that they didn't have. So it's going to be a huge help from a service standpoint, from an HR standpoint, managing multiple locations in multiple states, managing a mixed workforce. So being able to have all those resources, adding the better benefits in and adding the coverage for the warehouse people, hopefully that has an impact on presenteeism because they now have access to teledoc and telehealth, so they can access those at night or in the morning or even while they're at work. So if they do need a script, they don't have to take a day off. So it should help with presenteeism. And I think anytime you're a company like that and you can find a way to make an improvement to how you're doing things while also being able to save nearly $500,000, if not more, it's a no-brainer. And what's going to happen next year? Not totally sure. I think the situation they're in, they're thinking about things on a year-to-year basis. So what we'll see what happens next year, and then we'll figure out a solution at that time if some change needs to be made. But ultimately, the partner that we've picked is a good partner. They've had really good healthcare renewals over the last several years, so I feel confident about that. And we were able to negotiate really favorable terms because they wanted to work with the client and the client wanted to work with them. So it was a mutually beneficial relationship. And ultimately, on the back end, everyone wins, whether it's the PEO, the employer, and the employees. It's a great outcome for all involved.